Hi, my name's Tatum, and I'm going to be doing my persuasive speech today on why I shouldn't drive drunk. Did you know that in the United States, almost 30 people every day die from a drunk driving accident? Driving is already a difficult task as is, and adding alcohol to the mix is a recipe for disaster. Alcohol is a substance that can impair muscle coordination, reasoning, thinking, and overall the function of the brain. Not to mention, a DUI can dramatically change your life, and it can cost an upwards of $5,000 in fines and fees, and you can lose your license. Drinking and driving is not only against the law, but it's one of the most dangerous things that you can do, and it has major consequences. Let's begin by looking at those consequences that come with drinking and driving. So, one of the consequences that can occur is a car accident. This is because when you drink too much, it can slow your reaction time and it makes it harder for your brain to process information efficiently. It also affects your ability to use common sense, and your concentration is greatly reduced. This makes for one dangerous and distracted driver. Because when you're unable to pay attention to what you're doing and the other cars around you, you're more likely to get in a car accident. And if you do get in a car accident due to drinking and driving, you could potentially kill or injure yourself or someone else on the road. And if you do injure or kill someone else on the road, that's guilt that's going to sit with you for the rest of your life. You will also face huge legal penalties for driving drunk. You could get a DUI. And in Washington State, a first-time DUI offense can cost anywhere from $500 to $5,200 in fines and fees just for a first-time offense. And you could also spend 1 to 365 days in jail. Can you imagine the consequences for a third or second offense? Another consequence of drinking and driving, which is actually one of the most common, is license suspension. And this can last anywhere from a few months to a few years. And honestly, this could place such a huge strain on your life when you no longer have a way to get places. You're going to have to rely on people like your family and friends or public transportation to get to places like work or even to go grocery shopping. You're not going to be able to drive and go do those things. You're not going to have the freedom that you once had with your license. Not to mention, your insurance could skyrocket because your insurance provider will be notified that you had a DUI, and worst case scenario, they could even drop you from their insurance company. Also, drunk driving will go on your public record, and it's public knowledge to anyone who wants to view it. So anyone who wanted to look it up could see it, and all they would have to do is take a quick look online and they could see your entire criminal history. So from this, you could potentially lose your job if your employer decided to look at your public record and see you had a DUI. Or if you're trying to get a job, potential employers could see you had a DUI and choose not to hire you. Not to mention, a DUI can take away professional licenses that nurses, doctors, lawyers, and drivers are required to have. This could result in no longer being able to practice your profession. Also, family and friends could see it, and it could be damaging to your relationships with them. Overall, drinking and driving isn't safe for anyone who's on the road, and it comes with a huge price to pay. But there are many ways to prevent drinking and driving from happening. So let's take a look at some ways to prevent drinking and driving. First, it's important to know what you're getting yourself into and your risk factors, and know exactly what you're putting on the line when you're choosing to drive drunk. So, obviously, drinking and driving is very deadly. And in the United States, approximately 1/3 of traffic accident fatalities are due to drunk drivers. That's insane. That is such a big number, and that's so dangerous. And another way to prevent drunk driving is it's so important to make sure that you have a safe ride home ahead of time. So if you do drink, don't drive for any reason. Designate a sober driver ahead of time, someone who's trustworthy and responsible. And if you and a group of friends are going out to drink and no one will step up to be the designated driver, then be the responsible one and do it yourself. Because you'd probably rather miss out on a night of drinking than have one of your friends get seriously injured. Or you could always call a taxi or an Uber or take public transportation. But again, make sure to plan ahead of time, have those numbers in your phone, or know the bus route you're going to be taking. Just make sure to plan. Or, if possible, stay the night at a friend's house. If the party is there, they probably won't mind if you stay the night. Or if you're out drinking at a bar, plan a motel ahead of time and walk there when you are done drinking or you're done with the night. And if you know that someone has been drinking, don't let them drive for any reason. Arrange them with a ride home with someone who's sober, or call them a taxi or an Uber again. And most importantly, make sure to take their keys to ensure that they don't drive. Yes, they might be mad at the moment, but it's so much better than the alternative. And in conclusion, there are many, many, many consequences to drinking and driving. And there's a lot of simple preventative measures that can be taken to prevent driving under the influence and keep everyone safe on the road and out of trouble. Next time you go out, make sure to plan a safe ride home ahead of time. Drinking and driving is never worth the risk of potentially hurting yourself or others, and definitely not worth the legalities that follow.